If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. Welcome back to another Rico Report brought to you by you know who, the Buffalo Fanatics. Folks, welcome back to another edition Tuesday night. I'm still not over the loss to the Dolphins. Normally, I'm on to the next opponent. Like I'm wearing a jersey. Listen to me. But folks, I ain't lying. As a fanatic, as a fan of the Bills, as a fan of this team that I've been rooting for forever, fam, I'm not over it. I am absolutely not over it. I'm sick. I'm still sick because it's not that we lost to the Dolphins, right? Losses come. I think it's how confident as a fan I felt going into this matchup with the Dolphins, then I was like, it's the Dolphins. They're going to give us a match, but we will prevail. We will come on top, get the W, whether it's a 20. I thought it was going to be a 10-point victory. But boy, these Dolphins came out to play. And sometimes there's something you have to give credit to a team when there's major shakeup or they fire a head coach or they fire a GM like they did. You almost want to rally. You want to rally around said situation and say, hey, man, everybody's counting us out. The Bills are already thinking that they own us. The Bills fans come out in droves. Like, we gotta shut these guys down. We've lost 2-14 against these guys. We've got to handle business. I'm still sick. I'm still sick that we lost this game. I'm sick of how we played. I'm sick of our run defense, of how we played this game specifically. I'm sick to my stomach of this offense just not jiving the way we're used to seeing it jive. I'm sick, bro. And I gotta watch out how I talk because the devil is a lie, man. The power in the tongue. I gotta watch how I talk. You know what I'm saying? For my Christians out there, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, but I'm not gonna do this by myself because I need someone that's got some insight on this because I'm lost. I'm looking at some film. I'm watching the game again. And it just didn't look good. I was trying to look for silver linings. Not many silver linings. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So, are we ready to go? What's this? Ladies and gentlemen, my guy Carl Jones in the building. What up, baby? What up? ISO, you on?
ISO, give me the rock and let me cook. How we doing today? We good?
Yo. Listen, man, we good. Well, I'm sick, bro, and I need some insight. I'm going to talk myself through it. You know what I'm saying? But this is therapy for me today. Bro. What's up, Carl? Talk to me.
I mean, where you want to start, big dog? Are you thinking like macro, micro, like my day?
What? I'm on the perimeter. And I see you cutting through the lane. What you got?
I mean, listen, I'm going to cut through the lane, and then I'm going to he it and be like, and then I'm going to make the extra pass. You feel me? Because that's the type of player that I am.
All right, the ball's back in my hand. I'm bringing it back. Let's start all over. Let's go. Play number 2. Folks, this where do we begin? Do we begin with Josh Allen? Do we begin with this defense? Do we begin with this offense? You know what? Let's begin with Markel Hardman being signed to the Bills practice squad. So it's clear as mud that the Bills missed an opportunity. So they go ahead and sign Markel. Is it Markel? Am I saying that right?
Mecole
Hardman signs to the Bills. We know him as the speedy receiver that can get downfield, can play some special teams. He is a Super Bowl champion, and he was part of the team that took the Bills down multiple times, right, in the playoffs, every time. So, but before we even get to Mecole Hardman, we had an opportunity to bring in Jalen Waddle. Brandon Beane dropped the ball. He dropped the ball with a sense of entitlement and greed. He offers a 2027 pick and a third 2026 pick. The Dolphins counter and say, I want your 2026 first round pick. Beane says, I'm out. Are you kidding me? What was Beane thinking? And the worst part of this whole situation is the Dolphins come out and beat your tail. And the one piece that you needed to help your team was in the receiving room, and the Dolphins totally annihilated the receiving room. They boxed y'all up. They didn't do it. You couldn't do a thing. And all Beane had to do was say, I accept. You drive a hard bargain, but I accept. And this brother said, no, take the 2027 pick or I'm walking. And he walked. And guess what? The Dolphins dog walked the Bills. Hard Rock Cafe. You talk to me. Tell me what the heck I'm missing.
I love how you finesse that Hard Rock Cafe in there. That you tough for that one. I will say that Jalen Waddle is someone that I would have felt comfortable giving up a first-round pick for. I think that he is a really darn good receiver whose production has been somewhat limited based off of the offense and being second fiddle to Tyreek and having a quarterback that is less than stellar, I guess is the appropriate way to put Tua Tagovailoa. I think if you're Brandon Beane, he made it abundantly clear that this offseason he's going to at least try to go big game hunting at wide receiver. I think that when you – I don't even say make a move. When you make it clear and loud and proud that you tried, and I tried as hard as I could to go help out this offense and bring some juice and bring a number one receiver here, I think that made it clear that a few months from now they're going to at least try. But that's months from now. In the present, I think that I'm not going to say do whatever it takes, but I think if that is the extent of the negotiations, where like that was the selling point and that was the holdup, I think that you should be willing to make that move if you are Brandon Beane, considering that the Bills are going to pick, let's say, 25 and beyond. Do you truly believe that a Jalen Waddle caliber player is going to be at 25 and beyond? And I think that's where my hiccup would be, because usually, and of course, you guys all know the NFL draft, you can find great players throughout the draft. We know that. But the high-end players tend to be taken higher up in the draft, and a Jalen Waddle player is not going to be available, at least in theory, at 26, 27, or 32. So, yes, I would have felt comfortable giving up the 2026 one and maybe even a little bit more to go get Waddle.
Buddy, I'm baffled because – and it's sickening because, like, I can understand why fans would be upset because you're coveting draft picks that it's a 50-50 at the end of the day. You could do all the homework you want, but it's 50-50. Does this person translate to the NFL? Or maybe they don't. Maybe they had an amazing collegiate career. They come to the league and then they do doo-doo. And then you have a guy that is a player, a baller, and you're like, bruh, I have an opportunity to help my franchise quarterback and this offense that's somewhat anemic, and you say no?
And the other unsaid part about this trade that would have been huge and beneficial to the Bills, similar to the Sauce Gardner trade, the Colts don't have to pay Sauce Gardner. The Jets did that. So now they're just getting his base salary. The Dolphins have already paid Jalen Waddle, so you don't have to restructure his deal until, I believe, another year from now. So you are also, a lot of times that you hear the old adage, oh, you got to trade for Micah Parsons and then give him the big deal. That wouldn't be the case here. You would just trade for Jalen Waddle.
This was an all-time fumble by Brandon Beane, And I'm a big fan of Brandon Beane. I'm one of the very few Bills left that are a fan of both Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. I like them both. I really do. But this is egregious. This is Nico Harrison-esque. You're
no, it's not. Don't do that. Don't do that. No. I understand you frustrated. We're not gonna do that though. No. What Nico did should have been like, no disrespect to them boys who just got caught up by the feds a few weeks back. This should have been roped up with that. What Nico did, like that's the type of stuff that he just did. But I hear you though. It's a fumble. It's a fumble.
Listen, they're in the room. They're in the room together. I don't care what you want to tell me. You know what I'm saying? They may not be holding the plate, but brothers in the room. And that is awful. You had an opportunity to really help your team out. You honestly did. Jokes aside, Brandon Beane, man, you fumbled this one. I mean, unless you have a master plan, and the master plan was Mecole Hardman, bro, ain't nobody buying that. But I do appreciate that Brandon Beane was swinging for someone big. Apparently, he was interested in Williams that just got traded to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you went for it. Right. But like, fam, sometimes you got to give it up. You think the Colts cared that they gave up 2 firsts for Timothy Sauce Gardner? No. You think my man Jerry Jones gave a damn that he gave up some draft picks for Williams? No.
Well, Jerry Jones don't give a damn about nothing, but yeah, you're right.
If you feel me, but Brandon Beane, bro, you're not in a position to be all picky choosy. You don't got the money. Yeah. You had this in the bag, but you dropped it. So I'm a little disappointed in that. So let's get right to the bag. Let's get right to the team, the loss. Right. Or I want to get into it. The good, the bad, the ugly. Could you find any good in this matchup between the Bills and the Dolphins?
Yeah. I got two for you. Sorry, my lips was all toned up for me. Yeah. So we'll start up front. I love the violence that Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau play with. I thought they did a really good job of setting the edge in the run game and did a good job of not being blocked. There's multiple times where Achane and Ollie Gordon tried to get to the perimeter and they said, no, you got to figure out a different way. And there was one play where Greg Rousseau ran through like 3 people to make a play. I don't even think he got the tackle, but he made Achane stop his feet at least twice. So I want to give those guys their flowers. Obviously, they didn't get a sack, but they were super violent and they popped up several times on film. The other player, we talked about him last week, Cole Bishop had another phenomenal game. I want to just talk about his interception for a second here. So for those at home, the safeties and the Bills were in a too high look. So the safety started high. And at the snap, I don't know who the safety was. It was either Cam Lewis or Jordan Hancock rolled down into the box at the snap. And Cole Bishop stayed high. So now we went from 2 high to 1. When you go to 1 high, that invites fades on the perimeter because it's 1-on-1. And to be fair, Tua didn't look off Cole at all. He stared Jalen Waddle the entire way. But Cole Bishop did his 111, did his job from the far hash, rotated from the center field to go make a play on that ball. And the most impressive part about it, and it gets me excited talking about it, he high pointed the football. He got it. He met it at its highest point. And as a defensive back, that's something that you get drilled into you each and every day. I see them boys practice on high pointing the football before practice every single day. So the fact that we were able to translate what happens on the practice field to the game is super exciting. And when we think about Cole Bishop, even dating back to his time at Utah, box safety, around the line of scrimmage, horizontal player, intermediate parts of the field, we truly, and anyone who said they knew this, they're lying. We haven't seen evidence that he could be a center field safety. And this is 2 weeks in a row where he's shown some range back there. I know the pick Mike Harrison got last week, but I told you on the same platform, Bishop would have picked it off if Max didn't. And then the play that he made this week, where I'm like, yeah, that's that range, that's that athleticism, matching those instincts, and that's where you get those special plays. So, yes, Tua was terrible on the play. Like, he didn't look him off at all. Like, I wish y'all can go watch it. Like, Tua literally dropped back and was just like, all right, Waddle. All right, Waddle. And Bishop was like, all right, if you're going to lead me to the money, I guess I'm going to go rob you. But that was just a hell of a play. Obviously, the one play at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, where he came down at the line of scrimmage on 3rd down, should have been an incomplete pass, but they didn't throw the red flag. He is ascending, man, and I can't wait to see more. Like this weekend against Baker Mayfield, who is prone to – I'll just say this. Bishop better put his wide receiver gloves on this week because I think Baker's going to throw him one.
I asked you last week, has Cole Bishop arrived? And you said, hey, man, I'm going to ask you again. Has he arrived?
I think that if I have a lot more confidence that he is going to be a plus starter in this league. I think I have a lot more confidence talking to you on Veterans Day, United States Veterans Day, that he has arrived and that he is going to be a plus starter. Am I going to sit up here and say it with my chest and pump it out? No, but because there's a lot of guys who are one-hit wonders, two-hit wonders. But based off what I've seen, he's done a good job of mixing the mundane with some of the splash plays. Like, he's done enough of the plays where he's just doing his 111th, and when you do it enough, it'll lead you to the football. And then you have plays like that Saints game where you just do something where the whiteboard doesn't tell you to do that. That's just you being a ball player. So if you're a Bills fan, if you're frustrated with a lot of the young pups on the team, that's one of them that you should have your ears perked up about and be excited to watch every single Sunday.
Listen, I'm excited about Cole Bishop, and he seems to have found his groove. I think I'm with you. Has he arrived? Bro, he knocking on that door, bro. He knocking on that door, and they're like, and when they open the door, they're like, yo, what took you so long, man? We've been waiting for you. And I think that's exactly what he's gearing up to be.
Right.
For me, it's funny that I'm going to say this player because I thought he had an excellent game, except for maybe one or two blunders, one major blunder. That was Cam Lewis. I think Cam Lewis had a fantastic game, man. He was aggressive from the start. Like, I could honestly tell you, I didn't miss Taron Johnson. It's not even a slight to Taron Johnson. It just felt like he was playing well. He wasn't a liability. Let me just put it that way. Sometimes you can tell when where Taron Johnson at, and this is what I mean by that. I wasn't asking for Taron Johnson. When we add Taron Johnson, am I gonna love it? Absolutely. Has Taron Johnson playing up to par this year? Not so much. However, Cam Lewis, I got to put him in the good side, man. He was actually aggressive. He was coming downhill. That tackle. Listen, Devin A-Chain made a hell of a move in that hole. Listen, if you got to watch that play, Devin A-Chain in the hole gets skinny and then up north again. Dude, that takes, not a great angle by Cam, but a fantastic move by A-Chain. And then taking it to the house call. And then Poyer obviously not making the tackle, but it's neither here nor there. But, man, got to give Cam Lewis some love. I'm not saying it's amazing, but I got to give him some love. All right. Anything else stand out for you before we go to the bad? Because I'm sure there's going to be a bit.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Kincaid had a few good plays. Yeah, that's probably.
I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, let's go to the bad, man. What are we talking about here? Talk to me about the bad.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of directions I can go with this.
Yeah.
Because I know I want to go with the ugly. I'll say this with the bad. Two things. I'll start with the linebacker group. Terrell Bernard, he was hurt during training camp. I believe he had a hamstring injury. And then he also got hurt, I believe, in that Falcons game and left it, and I believe missed the following game, or maybe even the game after that. He doesn't look like a player who's healthy, and he's not playing well. And Matt Milano, I know his is upper body, so it's not necessarily his lower extremities, but he's not playing well either. The linebackers really didn't have a good game. And I guess my point is, without beating around the bush, you haven't felt their presence in a positive light a lot this season. I know Terrell Bernard had the interception that was great in the first Dolphins matchup. And there's been a few plays here and there, but truth be told, for those players if I would have told you into the season, the position group you felt great, felt best about, it would have been those two. You would have said, like, oh, man, I really think if Milano's healthy and TB's ascending, Dorian Williams is a good third linebacker, you would have been like, yeah, I like that group. I trust that group to do their job each and every Sunday. And I think I haven't felt their presence. I really haven't. I'll kick it back to you before I get my next one.
I'm gonna, for me, the bad. I'm gonna hit this on another subject because I was gonna go here, but I'm not going to. I'll go to the obvious, man. The run game was not good. It was bad. And credit to the Dolphins. Credit to the Dolphins. They didn't play nickel. They didn't play any dime. They were like, yo, base 4-3-3 linebackers. Tyrell Dodson was getting in the mix, bro. They held us in check. So to me, we got one of the best backs in the game. You guys can't get him started. I just don't get it. I don't care if they got base. You know what I'm saying? We got Hoggies on the line, and I don't feel that we were at our best. And every game the Bills have played this year, James Cook has had less than 100 yards. And that's where it starts. You got to get the game established, the run game established. And if you don't, we're not looking great. And we already know what the offense is like right now with the passing game. It's been documented, if you will. But the run game, that's something that we can rest and say, at least we got the run game. Bro, we didn't have the run game. And that's when we're like, oh, snap. Okay, so this is going to be a game now because we're not able to run the ball with success the way we naturally do. So now we're going to really open up this playbook. And we know the playbook is light. So, golly, we're going to have to see how this game's played out. And you know what? The results have been 3 losses. So this run game, we depend on it, and we weren't able to rely and depend on it this game. So for me, the run game in totality, O-line, running back, the whole offense, that was bad for me. What you got?
My next one, and I want to make this abundantly clear, this player is still young. He has a lot of time up under his belt, but I am just going to just judge it based off of like the 50 snaps that I saw Sunday. I didn't think Max had a good game, and I know he had the interception and he did his job, and that was a good play. But on a down-to-down basis, he got introduced to the National Football League. When I think about the first play, the first touchdown that he gave up to Jalen Waddle, or the only touchdown, excuse me.
Yep.
That's a situation where he stayed in his back pedal a little too long, where I understand his entire life he's been the most athletic player on the field and that he can stay square. Because if you run past me, I'm fast enough to catch up to you. And for those at home, you want to stay square in your pedal. You want to stay in your back pedal as long as you can because it allows you to break on balls much easier if you're square in your pedal. I just want to make that it's for anyone at home if you're thinking like, why is he in his pedal? Because if I'm backpedaling, it's easier to break. If I got my hips turned, it's a little harder to get down on my brake. So that's why he was doing that. Having said that, though, at some point, you got to open up and run. Because if you don't, well, that's what's going to happen. He was too square, then he stopped his feet, and then Max ran 4.2. Jalen Waddle won 4.2 as well. So, like, it's just one of those situations where he'll learn. You know, you got to learn to test your speed here and there and see what you can and can't get away with. And even though he's super fast, that's a situation where I want you to get out of your pedal. Let's open up and run. And if you give up the 15-yard comeback, you give it up. But we can't give up 6. Remember the old adage like, hey, mama tell you like that stove is hot. But when you were youngin', let me find out how hot the stove is, right? Let me figure that out. And I think that's one of them situations where he needs on it. It's not going to be the only play. There's going to be some other plays this year where he's going to get burned and he's going to have to figure out what he can and can't get away with. And then there were some one-on-one reps where I think Waddle got the best of him, even when the ball didn't go his way. I'll just say this for the people at home. In zone coverage, I think that you should feel very great about his trajectory as a player. He looks super comfortable and calm and collected. He's always on top of routes and he's filling things out in spacing. Manny has a long way to go, which matches up what we saw at St. John Fisher. Like the one-on-one drills, he was struggling a lot. But think back, played a lot of zone at Kentucky. Didn't play a lot of man. So I just want to – he's not going to play Jalen Waddle every week. And Emeka Egbuka is a great receiver, but he's different body type, different type of receiver. So I just want to see how he bounces back, and he'll learn. This happens to everybody.
I mean, it's not a horrible thing to stay in your back pedal too long. I don't want to say too long. It is because in this league, if I'm even, forget about it. I'm out of here.
But if you close that cushion though, like it's cool to stay in your back pedal up until he gets to like right here. And listen, by the time you open up them hips, my boy, he gone.
He run 4.2. That's true. No doubt.
He run like these ain't no disrespect. You know, I ain't gonna name nobody. But like if it's a receiver that run 4.8, yeah, sure, stay in your pedal the whole time. He ain't gonna run past you. And if he do, you're gonna catch right back up to him.
Yep.
Jalen Waddle could have been on the Olympic track team. So like we need to but you ain't gonna know until you know. And I ain't gonna kill the dude for it, but like that's what just happened. That's what I saw.
Listen, man, I'm with you in a way that it's a good, but it's bad, but it's a good thing because you got me sounding like my son. Because when it comes down to it, now you know. Oh shoot, I'm in the NFL.
Sure. Yeah.
Now I know. I can't do what I did in the collegiate days.
Right.
I got to turn my hips a little sooner, right? And this is where being in the film room matters. And how important? Like, I mean, I can't say how important because it's super important. If you're not the greatest athlete on the field, if you're in the film room and you catch things like. Who was it? Was it the Packers game? I think it was the Packers. Packers. The
Eagles game at the end. They knew inside zone was coming. Yeah. Inside
zone. Bro, love it. That's when you know you would. Like, it reminds me of the Cam Newton and who was my boy with the long hair?
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews. Hey. Oh, is that what you think it is? All right, cool. Let me run. Yo, you
watch this. Watch
this. You love to see that. So, big shout out to Max Harrison. That's a learning. That's a. I mean, he took an L, but it's not the L that people think it is. It's a lesson. And
his hand got burnt on the stove. You feel me? And how you supposed to know? Your mama keep telling you is how am I supposed to know? Let me figure it out on my own.
The amount of times I tell myself, "Oh, yeah, you want to try it? Go ahead and try it. We'll see what happens to you." And then boom, you find out. All right. For me, I want to save this one for ugly because it's a bit of bad, but I think it's more ugly for me. And I'm going to go right into the ugly. When it comes to good, bad, the ugly, because I know I'm limited with time with you, so I'm gonna keep it quick.
Actually, I'm at work, so I can work. I can probably like 9:15 today because I'm at
all
work.
right, babe. Listen, this guy. All right, we're doing it, baby. We're doing it. All right, so let's go to the ugly. I gotta say, I love if you're not the best player. I have to remember this. I was my first year playing soccer. I can't believe I remember this. One of the worst athletes on the team. The game was 0-0. Why I remember this when I'm 5 or 6 years old, I just do. Terrible athlete. And it was an ugly game, and the ball was scrimmaging around in the box, and my man did one of the ugliest slide tackles, and he toe punted that ball in. We won the game because of his effort. I love his effort. And I think we all know where I'm going with this. And I got to go to my guy, Keon Coleman, and be like, fam, I watched Keon Coleman because now we're forced to watch Keon Coleman because people are saying, yo, he's not good enough, which I don't believe. I really don't believe. I'm holding out that this guy's better than what we're seeing and what people are talking about. And I'm watching him, and there are routes where he's wide open and Josh doesn't look his way. And there are routes where he's dogging it. So as a quarterback, I don't know whether you're going to give me 100% or you're going to give me 25%. And that to me is unacceptable. That is nasty work. You're a receiver. The receivers, they run kilometers every game. You know what I'm saying? So like, be conditioned. Are you not conditioned? Is that what it is? I can't believe that you're not conditioned. Are you just so frustrated that you're not getting the belly? I go, he's probably not even going to look at me, so I'm just going to dog it. Bro, if that's the case, sit your ass down. Pardon my language, but like, that's what I don't want to have to say that. But when you see the lack of effort, dogging it, I saw one route. This guy was at the top of the screen, and this guy just dogged it all the way through. Are you kidding me? And third and change, and you going to run a route like that? Of course, Josh is not going to look at you. So to me, that to me is ugly because if I see 10 other guys giving me 100% max effort and you dogging it, I got a problem. And when they ask Coach McDermott, yo, have you addressed the guys that, and they're who exactly you're talking about? Hey, they know when they're not giving max effort. No, that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear, bro, he not playing next game. Not that they're going to tell us that, but the message will be loud and clear. You know what I mean? Right. Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore, Khalil Shakir. You don't want to run? Cool, you can sit on the bench. Like, this is not college, boy. This is the NFL. To me, Keon Coleman, nasty work. You got to give more effort than that. I believe in him, but that for my Jamaican folks, that not make it. That not make it, bro. That don't do it. So that's my ugly. What you got?
I love that. Yeah. There are a few reps you watch back on the All 22 where you're like, yeah, man, that just can't happen. It cannot happen, especially at that level of football. My ugly is going to tie into that somewhat. The passing game in totality is just not good. It's ugly, actually. It's if the Bills can't run the rock, I think you mentioned it earlier, the offense is DOA at this point. And that's just so frustrating to see and say when Josh Allen is the quarterback. And I want to make this abundantly clear. You and I have talked about this even dating back to last year when the passing game wasn't stellar. All parties involved share blame in this. I don't think the receivers are great, but I don't think they are as bad as what they are showing on Sundays. I want to make that clear. I don't think they're good, but they're not this bad. I think Joe Brady is a really good offensive coordinator. The numbers don't lie. But I also think a lot of that credit that I'm talking about is mostly catered towards the running game, not necessarily some of the schematics he's done in the vertical passing game. And listen, Josh is great. He's awesome. But I do think that some of the frustration surrounding him has plagued some of his play and some of his frustrations to where if I see less than ideal effort or less than ideal attention to detail around me, I may start short-circuiting and I may start turning down throws and start wanting to put my Superman cape on a little earlier than maybe was necessary. Because it is funny how at times he's in this surgical mode where he's just like, boom, I'll take 5, turn it into 6. I'll take that 3-yard catch and he'll turn it into 8. And then there are other times where he doesn't want to do so. And without never playing quarterback, I want to put myself in his shoes for a second here. Maybe some of that has to do with the fact that he maybe doesn't trust guys. Maybe he doesn't trust that that's going to be open because they didn't give the great effort to play before that or the attention to detail. So if we're doing a pie chart, he by far has the smallest sliver. Like not like by far. Like it's probably it's a larger conversation surrounding the OC and the wide receiver group. So it's ugly. It's unattainable. Ring the alarms. DEFCON. I don't know which DEFCON is worse. DEFCON 5 or 1.
Are we ringing the alarm?
With the passing game? Because here's the thing. I'm not talking about this passing game as if they're the Cleveland Browns. This is a team that wants to win the Lombardi. Yes. They want to win the Super Bowl. Yes. I want to make that clear. This passing game is still good enough to get to the postseason. They are still better than the Jets and Browns and the Panthers and all that good jazz. But where they want to go, if what they showed on Sunday and some of the games in September and early October, thank you, my boy Koala Bear. I always get it confused. DEFCON 1 with the passing game. If for Lombardi Trophy purposes, of course the Cleveland Browns passing game is worse than Kent State. But like where the Bills want to go, it got to improve. And I also want to say this because I'm not an OC. I'm not about to sit up here and act like I know how to design a passing game. But there's some correlation between some of the receivers that have come and gone, and are still here. When you think about Stephon Diggs and his beginning of that 2023 season, and he still looked like Stephon Diggs. And then Joe Brady comes aboard, and then they shift the offense a little bit, change some of the formulas, and all of a sudden, he still looks good on film in terms of moving around, but his production drops. Gabe Davis was always a volatile player. He always was. But it got super volatile when Joe Brady came aboard. I think about Mac Hollins. He has better numbers in New England than he does in Buffalo. And don't tell me Mac Hollins.
Does he have? Because I know he was teetering around that.
I think he's averaging 11 more yards per game in New England than he is in Buffalo. Mind you, don't tell me Mac Hollins is more important to the Patriots passing game. He's still like they still have Kayshon Boutte, Stephon Diggs, DeMario Douglas, and Kyle Williams. So like he's not like he's the number one guy over there either. And then I think about Elijah Moore and Curtis Samuel. I don't think those guys are great receivers. They are our best wide receiver 3s and 4s. But the production they're giving you is wide receiver 6 and 7. So I think there is something to be said about, no, I don't think that is a good enough receiving core on paper. It's not, in my opinion. But it's not being maximized either. And I think both sets of statements can be true, and I think are true about this Bills team at the moment. That is really scary, because at what point over the last 30 games have you felt a Bills wide receiver has been elevated? I think Khalil Shakir has, but he's also been boxed in to a certain extent as, I'm going to spit it out to you right away and just going to make something shake.
Yep.
I don't think Khalil Shakir is Stephon Diggs' route runner. I don't think he's Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I think he can do a little bit more than just take this little tunnel screen and get me 5-6 yards. You know what I'm trying to say? So, like, once again, yes. I don't think these receivers are great. I don't. I think they're bottom third of the NFL, maybe even bottom fourth. But also, like, I don't think they're being maximized either. That's my diatribe. I'm sorry.
No. I think I share the same sentiments with you. By the way, side note, when it comes to Mac Hollins this year, he's got 26 receptions as of right now. And all of last year with the Bills, he had 31. He had 378 yards with the Bills last year. He's already at 323. So do what you will with that information. All right. I think I'm with you, man. Like are we utilizing our players the way they should be used? Stevie Johnson said something that was fascinating to me, at least fascinating to me. And that was, hold up. So you're using your best receiver in Khalil Shakir in the hot, humid Hard Rock Cafe as a punt returner, and then putting him out on the receiver room when you got Curtis Samuel and Elijah Moore just sitting back there where you can use them as punt returners and then try to figure something out. So there is a little bit of coaching. I love people that they say malpractice. I'm not going to say malpractice, but there are some coaching gaffes where you're like, really? I mean, I get it. You want to put your best players on the field, but you want to preserve and if you're going to put your max effort somewhere, put it at the receiver position. So that's one thing that I do want to look at. The second thing I want to look at too is I'm like, okay, we were talking about Keon Coleman not giving max effort. And if he has to sit down a little bit, then sit down a little bit until you understand that I need max effort from you. So like, is Khalil just a slot receiver? In the days that Brian Dable was coordinator, you played everything. You played the X, you played the bout, you played everything. And everybody just fits in their roles, and maybe I'll put you in the slot and so on. maybe we need to see Khalil at the wide and not just doing a screen and he's actually running a route or not just running a stop route, right? Maybe there's things that need to happen, right? So I go from there. So let me switch it up a little bit now. We're done with the good, the bad, the ugly, and I know I got a little bit of time with you left. So what are your thoughts on player-only meetings? And are the Bills due for a players-only meeting, or is it unnecessary?
I personally have felt that players-only meetings were like a last resort, like break glass in case of emergency type of situation. And it depends on the maturity of your team. Because I think I speak for everyone here where you've played on certain teams that were super immature and they couldn't take, certain type of coaching and yelling. And if you were to lock everyone in the room, it wouldn't necessarily go over too well. And there are also some teams where it will be productive. So, I mean, if you're insinuating that the Bills need one, I don't know. I think that those guys have shown, at least to me, they have a level of maturity that they don't need to lock themselves in a room and hash it out for 30 minutes to an hour. But I do think there is something to be said when you hear effort concerns about your second-round pick from last year, when you hear players in the locker room say they just played harder than us. That's not something that's ever good. Like, you're not going to have it every week. You're not. There are going to be days where you just don't have, and you're not going to meet the level. That's just human nature, y'all. I know everyone wants to see they Buffalo Bills give max effort every single week. I'm with you. I want to see my Syracuse Orange and Buckeyes play the same exact way. It's not realistic. We are humans. It's just some days you don't got it. It's still not encouraging when you hear it multiple times in a season. You hear about the Falcons when they played there. You heard about, oh man, we played the Patriots brain ball. They played our, what I'm trying to say? So I do think it's somewhat of a reoccurring thing that's not healthy.
I'll tell you this. I believe it is necessary for a players-only meeting, only because of who your leaders are, right? An immature team, I'll use the Miami Dolphins. When Tua was like, team meeting, guys, and guys were late for the meeting, and they weren't showing up, and I was like, what? Bro, ain't anybody trying to listen to Tua. Mm-hmm. And you hear him talk on press conferences, that brother just too honest. He's too honest with his intrusive thoughts where he just lets it out.
Tua will never be a politician. I'll tell you that. That boy
absolutely not. He'll be a terrible politician.
Politician.
I think something that would hold a lot of weight is if 17 was like, hey, team meeting, 3:00 in the locker room, One Bills Drive, be there. I tell you right now, and we don't got to know about it, but I'd love for these guys to just sit and be like, yo, coach is out of there, man. And hash it out. Sometimes you need to hash it out. Hey, you ain't throwing me the football the way I need you to. Well, you ain't running the way I need you to run. If you start running, if those things get put out there, and I've been part of player only meetings, and there's been some good things that have come out of it. And then, or things remain the same and that team needs to be blown up, right? And I know this is like, but it's not. You're 6-3. Why are we having a team only meeting? Well, did you see the gauntlet of teams that we got to play in the next 5? You got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Tampa Bay Bucks, the Texans, and you love, boy, I think that's your favorite player in the NFL, that cornerback for the Texans. You love that, brother, man. I'll tell you right. So, and you got the Cincinnati Bengals on top of that with the way their offense has been rolling, and you got the Patriots. All teams but one of them with winning records. So something's got to give. So we need to get ahead of it now before we really start to really get into this thing, and then we're calling for one. No, we need to get it now, ahead of now, because we got something. I think it's not a bad thing to have team-only meetings, players-only meeting.
Right.
I just believe that I think it's something's got to give, because something's just off right now. Something's off with these Bills. People know what's up with these Bills, but it's internal. And they're never really going to let it out. So we're just left with the pieces of like, yo, we're 6-3 and we just lost to the Dolphins. What's up? We just got to get right, and we got to do what we need to do, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, it is but it is what it is at this point. But I mean, a players only meeting isn't always a bad idea. And I think the Bills would benefit from those and having the leaders speak. Deion Dawkins getting up there, Josh Allen getting up there, and special teams, whoever they decide. I mean, they only had two captains this year anyway. I think Bernard, get up there. I mean, something's got to give. It's concerning what I'm seeing from the Bills right now. All right. Last one before you get out of here, because I need to get your thoughts and attention on this, because I feel some type of way about it.
Uh-oh.
Body language. Body language, body language, body language. And I know some people are saying, yo, chill out, Rico. I think you're being a little too much right now. This brother just can't sit and chill. And I'm talking about Josh Allen and his body language on the sideline. Now, before y'all try to come for me, I'm looking at this as a generic, not just Josh Allen, but Josh Allen happens to be the guy that I want to talk about, right? And there's pictures circulating of when people lose, you're not always going to be in the best state. You're not going to care what you look like. You're not going to be, you're to rage. You're pissed off. However, there is a level of leadership that you have to display to your teammates, right? And if I'm a freshman, you're the senior, and you got beat, and you come onto the sideline and you sulking, or you're not sulking, but you kind of down on yourself, bro, I'm watching you as a freshman. I'm like, yo, that's the dog right there. Like, what's going on? Like, get back up there, right? I see my quarterback sitting by himself with his tablet, rarely, and I'll ask you that, and maybe I'm tripping. I'm sure he does, but what I've seen from broadcast is always looking for spice, right? Mm-hmm. We always see Josh sitting on his own by himself with a tablet, win or lose. Rare do you see him getting up there and chatting with his boys, especially in dire games. I'd like to see my quarterback come up there and him and Keon are discussing something. They're trying to get back on the same page. Him and Khalil, or with the offense, or huddle up. You don't see that. You see that a lot with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is vocal. He's out there. Yo, come over here. Let me talk to you. Let's see what you saw that with Tom Brady. Gather around. Let's do. We don't really see that often with Josh. Now, I'm looking from my couch and on my TV screen. So most people might say, yo, what the heck you on the couch? Shut you're behind up. Okay. But I pass it over to someone that is not in the locker room per se all the time, but you know what I mean? You're around the facility and you've seen these games. Do you see Josh going out there and rallying the guys and doing that? Or is he more of the leader that sits and just, if he loses, he sits. If he wins, he's sitting in the same spot. What are your thoughts on that? Because I feel strongly about it. I think body language matters.
Well, I'm with you 100% in that body language matters, especially from the leaders on your team. And obviously in a sport like football, that is usually the quarterback. So for those who don't know, I'm up in the press box for home games now, so I'm not on the field. But my first 2 years in this position, I was on the field, and I was on the Bills sideline, and I was obviously looking not just at the game, but the Bills sideline as well. There would be moments where you see Josh Allen, talking to guys, rallying the troops, and, getting a lot of juice. But is it like, how do I want to phrase this? Is it as over the top or as overt as maybe some of the other quarterbacks in the league that you refer to, most notably like a Baker Mayfield? No. I don't think it's like some crazy concern, but it is something that like listen, Josh is a very emotional player, and it's not like a negative. He just wears his heart on his sleeve. And at times I feel as if this is just me just speculating that he will much rather internalize that as opposed to just throw it out on other people. But he's also, once again, he's in terms of personality, he's much closer to LeBron than he is Kobe, where like Kobe was willing to be more abrasive and willing to be more of an a-hole and all that good jazz because he felt that was the best way to get his message across to his teammates. Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes is like this. Josh Allen is much closer to the personality type of a LeBron, where he's much more encouraging and like, hey guys, let's do that. And I know Bron is old now, so he be singing like a grandpa, but y'all know Prime Bron. Prime Bron was kumbaya, all that good jazz. So no, I don't think, like I saw that video. I saw the same video I did. It was late in the fourth. Y'all did. It was in the fourth quarter. He was just on the couch, just locked in. I think it was after one of his fumbles where he's just had a stoic look. But I've been on the sideline. I've seen Josh and talking to the guys, trying to get him rallied up. But if you're asking him to be like Baker, that's just not who he is. Baker is he's a scatterbug. Like he's just bouncing off the walls. That's his personality type. And the Bills have to, whether it's Josh or another player, have to figure out a different mode of communication or a different person that's willing to be that dog. And I know I'm not about to look at the comments right now, but I'm pretty sure someone buddy, I can't speak on that man's name, but I'll say this. the Stephon Diggs name comes up anytime you talk about emotion and getting guys riled up.
We don't got that.
I will say there is something to be said about that type of personality, and sometimes it can rub some people the wrong way if it's around too long. I'll just leave that.
Leave it at that. I get it. And I'll tell you what, every team needs one of them, because when the quiet, stoic leader isn't there, then that's when there's a balance. And right now, I don't feel there's balance. I feel there's a lot of guys that internalize what they're feeling and not put it out there. Sometimes you need a little juice on the sideline. And I'm not getting it from the head coach. It doesn't seem like it. And I'm certainly not getting it from my quarterback. So, and it's not a shot at Josh. It's just that when you have impressionable players, yes, they know that you are that dude, but like, I want to see my leader stand up and be like, yo, I'm standing with you guys because we're losing. We're getting our tails beat. I'm not alone, isolated on my own, right? Could I lash out? Sure. I'll leave that for the locker room. But right now, let me be with my guys. We're losing in this together. I can't have my quarterback just sitting and just, just distraught and out there. Bro, we lost this one. You fumbled it. So be it. You already know who you are. You're that dude. Get up there and be with my guys. And that's the way I look at it. If I have my quarterback and I see him sitting on the sideline and not pouting per se, but just in his feelings, if you will, bro, man, let that shit go and let's get up here and let's finish this game out. So poor leadership, some people would say. I don't think it's poor leadership. I just think it's more like, bro, they're watching. The Maxwell Harrisons are watching. The James Cooks are watching. The Keon Colemans are watching. The young guys that are supposed to, come up with you are watching. And they're like, that's my quarterback? Bro, I need a little bit more from you. That's the way I look at it. Some might say, bro, can't he just sit down and just relax a little bit? This guy was gassed. Totally get that part. I do. Yeah. But I also see the body language, and body language tells you a whole lot.
And to go on your point, it's valid. Like, body language matters. But I'll say this, though. Yeah. If we're talking about, I don't want to just hammer Keon here, but a player who you may have questions about their work ethic, their level of urgency and care and passion. If we concerned about how another person can infect them and another person lift them up, that says a lot more about the person that got to look in the mirror every day than Josh Allen, or it says a lot more than about the head coach.
Good point.
If you can't be intrinsically motivated to go out there and play the sport that you love, it don't matter if someone else can lift you up. You are supposed to be – it's the man in the mirror that matters the most. I love the quote. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt or Franklin Roosevelt about the man in the arena quote. It is so true. I understand that coaches matter, and I understand that teammates are supposed to be uplifting and all that good jazz. Bruh, it's you. It's on you. You figure it out. And I'm not talking about making spectacular plays. I'm talking about you handle your business. So, yes, I think a lot of people would love to see Josh be more rah-rah and more Brady-like and Jordan and Cole. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. But also, like, hey, bro, you a grown man. Handle your business. Like, if you need someone else to lift you up, that says a lot more about you than it does about them.
And this is the NFL. I mean, I don't got to motivate you. I mean, but I'm so glad you brought that up, because there's two sides to that coin. And that's the other side, bro. You're watching me so you can get motivated. Nah, bro, you got to motivate yourself. So, I mean, using Keon Coleman is a great example, because that's the one we can use. Poor guy's a punching bag, but it is what it is.
Right.
You put yourself in there, bro. So that's the way I look at it. So listen, I know I got a couple more minutes with you. So let me just put it this way. Your last words on this Dolphins game. And the question I have for you, was this Dolphins loss the wake-up call the Bills needed? Or do the Bills still, do you feel like there's more growing pains, or there's more, let me say, there's some more down play coming? So brace for it. What are your thoughts on this recent Dolphins loss and what it does and what it's going to do for these Bills?
I'll start defensively. I thought they actually played decent, maybe below average to decent on Sunday. But they will have, for the remainder of the season, have issues stopping the run. It is just structural in the way that they are built. They are not going to be a team that all of a sudden turns into the 2000 Ravens in terms of thudding up the run. That just won't be them. But I do think that they can be a team that, if they are playing ahead of the sticks and get teams into 3rd and 9 all game, I think they can be good. I think they truly can be. Offensively, I'm going to give myself an out here and say I have no my coach used to always say, faith is belief without evidence. I have zero evidence to suggest that this passing game will all of a sudden be some good vertical flying aerial attack. But I know I said it was two sides of that conversation. I said the receivers I don't think are great, but I also don't think the schematics are doing a good job of uplifting them and elevating them either. So maybe, just maybe, the schematics, the whiteboard, the coaching staff, that side of the coin can figure things out, and they can figure out ways to fix and put guys in better positions to get every drop out of those receivers and make things work. So I think if you're a Bills fan and you are trying to figure out where can we go from here, I think the defense, it is what it is. It's a volatile group that you just pray the team forgets to run the ball. I mean, I don't know why the Chiefs didn't. That was just comedy to me. They listen.
They could have.
Listen, if Sean McDermott, you literally hand Andy Reid $100 in the playoffs and say just pass the ball 60 times. Like we'll live with that.
Crazy.
That side of the ball, it is what it is. It's going to have some ups and downs, but it is what it is. Offensively, just pray that they can figure out a way to tap into it and figure out the passing game. There's no evidence to suggest it. We got 9 games or 8. How many games it was in 2023?
8 games left, I think, something like that.
20 last year, 10 this year. It's not a lot of evidence to suggest it. But all you can do is have faith, right? So just have faith that they can figure out that part.
One last thing, and then I'll let you go. All right. And I have to get your thoughts on this because we talked about it earlier, and I'm going to give you the solo screen. You know what time it is, man. It's the milk carton candidate.
Oh, God.
Who belongs on this list? I'm going to give you the full screen, and you talk to me. Who is on this list to you that this person went missing or something went missing in this person's game, but this person has been missing? Floor is yours.
The floor is mine. If we're going the milk carton, I'm going to actually switch it up a bit and not necessarily go with the player because I think we've done a good job of hashing that out and giving that its just due on both sides of the ball. But I think the milk carton candidate will probably be Joe Brady this week, the Bills offensive coordinator. I want to start this off by saying I think he is good at his job. I think that he is a good offensive coordinator, and how he has elevated this run game to an elite status is truly remarkable. I know they have James Cook and a good O-line, but you still got to weaponize it. And I think he's done a phenomenal job in doing so because as soon as he came aboard in 2023, the back half of that season, running game took off with the same personnel. So I want to give him his just due for that. I just am baffled a little bit at for all the flowers I want to give to the run game and the execution of that, the passing game has left a lot to be desired. I think that the weapons and the guys that he has at his disposal aren't great. But like I just mentioned, Elijah Moore didn't forget how to run routes. I don't think that he is some stellar all-pro receiver, but I think he can be a wide receiver 3 or 4 in this league. Curtis Samuel, I know he can't stay healthy, but I think he can do a little bit more besides jet sweeps. Same thing. Listen, Keon Coleman is his own discussion, but I think Khalil Shakir can give you a little bit more than just a screen guy. So, listen, I know he's not working with a lot, but that's just the nature of the beast in terms of being a coach in the National Football League. You're going to get praised when you maybe don't deserve it, and you're going to get ridiculed when it's not deserved as well. So I think, hey, this season will go. I told you this back in August. This season will go as the offense can go. And right now, if this offense can't run the rock, they are DOA, dead on arrival. So Joe Brady has to figure out ways to scheme guys up and figure out a better cohesive passing game and attack. Because if they don't, they will not be raising the Lombardi Trophy.
Oof. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Carl Jones just dropped a gem for us, and you might get clipped, and this might be on there. So I'm just letting you know. So other than that, I know you got things going forward. So the podcast is there. You're getting the film. I saw you had Larry Ogunjobi on an interview. That was dope. Love to hear that. And I can't believe that boy never played football. They say, yo, you playing ball, and you're gonna like it. And he ends up in the NFL. How about that?
Yeah, Nigerian boy, man. He funny, man. He funny.
Those Niger boys, man. So anything else that you got for the crowd, the folks, and we'll let you get going.
Buffalo Fanatics, what's going on? This is Pierre the Kingpin, and I wanted to talk to you today about Cigars International, which is the ultimate destination for premium homemade cigars. Known as the industry leader, Cigars International offers the largest selection, unbeatable prices, and a customer service experience that's second to none. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned vet, Cigars International makes enjoying cigars easy, approachable, and fun. Cigars International is the go-to retailer for all things cigars, with the biggest selection of premium homemade cigars available anywhere. Cigars International offers unbeatable deals and discounts, making it easy to stock up on your favorite or try something new without breaking the bank. With fast free shipping and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence knowing that Cigars International stands behind every order. They have good relationship with vendors that helps provide great low prices. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned pro, Cigars International makes it easy to find the right cigar with helpful guides, staff reviews, and expert advice. It's not just about cigars. Cigars International also offers a wide range of accessories and more to elevate your smoking experience. Check out the great deals every day at cigarsinternational.com. That's cigars, CIGARS, international.com. Use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply. Again, use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try. Well, I told you I was gonna sit down with Max last week, scheduling conflicts. Hopefully, I can sit down with your boy this weekend and just similar content that I did with Larry. My show, the Mafia Huddle, recording that. What day is it? Tuesday. Recording that Thursday. That'll be out on all listening platforms. It'll be out on WIVB Plus. I know it sucks. I wish it was on YouTube as well, but that is stuff that is above me. We'll get there. I'll put as many clips out on YouTube though as I can, and Twitter. Yes. So make sure y'all go to my YouTube, TikTok, my Twitter, all that good jazz. And that's that. And for those who live in the Western New York area, Buffalo Bills Kickoff Live. Damn, my bad, y'all. We pay for the sponsorship. I should say the name. Bills Kickoff Live. 11 o'clock, 1 hour, Sunday before the Bills and the Bucks.
My man, Mr. Jones, I appreciate you, my G. Have a good one. You stay in the office for a little bit?
I gotta go on TV. So if y'all trying to see your boy on TV with actually don't watch me. I ain't got a haircut. I gotta go. I look rough. I look rough. God damn. Y'all be blessed.
All right, man. Peace. That's my guy, Carl Jones. If you have not followed my man, Carl Jones, go ahead and follow him. Good cat. Love that dude, man. That's my guy right there. Big shout out to the chat, by the way. I'm pleased that you guys are always interacting with me. And if you guys have been following me for the amount of years that I've been doing this, or the weeks or the days or whatever, I try to be as objective as possible. I try to look at the bright side of certain things, and I'm sometimes overly critical on others. But I'm unapologetic. You know what I mean? I'm just what it is. And if that's something that resonates with you, smash that like. You know what I'm saying? And if it's a different perspective that I'm giving you other than the other podcasts that are out there or streamers that are out there, I welcome that. All right. You don't always want to hear the same things coming from the same guys, right? You always want a little something different. Now, I'm not done. There are couple things that I do want to touch on, that I definitely want to touch on, that I wouldn't say that's bothering me. It's not per se bothering me, but I was like, it's got me. Yo, shout out to my guy, Polish 2 Rico. That sure goes hard, bro. Let me tell you something, man. Side note, by the way, today is November 11th. It was my son's birthday yesterday. It's his 4th birthday. So big shout out to my boy, Kai. He's a big fool. We had his birthday party today. And today is also Remembrance Day. So, and Remembrance Day for Canadians, we remember the veterans and all those men and women that did what they did for us to have the freedoms that we have now. But the ultimate that gives us the freedom to do what we do is the man above, and you guys know who that is. But it's also Veterans Day for my American folks, so we salute y'all for your services. I mean, you listen, when I go to the United States, you know what I'm saying, and I can walk freely and do what I do, appreciate that. So I appreciate the services from the men and women that are doing their thing out there. So Veterans Day, salute. Always love. All right. And by the way, my Total Surrender shirt, we had a conference this past weekend. I was one of the keynote speakers, and I got a chance to share my testimony. my testimony of where God has brought me from what I was before to where I am now and the blessings that have come my way. How can I not give the good Lord thanks for what I'm doing and where I'm at and maybe the ears that are hearing me. So if you see that I've changed my ways, right, the less cussing and the more talk about my faith and stuff like that, that's because there might be someone, struggling with this, that, and the third, and this is an outlet for them. So to give them the cussing, they don't want to try to hear that. They want to hear good, authentic ball. And, a little bit of some personal from my side too. So appreciate you guys always. So let me get to, listen, man, all the time, God is good. You know what it is, man. All right. Let's get right into it. There's a couple things I want to touch on, folks. Yes, I'm sick of the loss to the Dolphins, but if you saw the way that we came out and played right from the jump, you can tell from the Kansas City game. When we came out looking crisp. We came out looking ready. We came out looking like we were prepared to play against the Kansas City Chiefs, and we knew that this was going to be a good game. We knew it. Won't he do it? Yes. Yeah. I got my Christian. I got my faith believers in here. I love it. By the way, shout out to my guy Brian Bowers, because we've been I think we've been knowing since 2019, brother. We've been doing this a long time. So let's keep it rolling. All right. We came out looking crisp against the Kansas City Chiefs, but it was the absolute opposite against the Miami Dolphins. Now, one thing that I have to factor in that I never really took that in was the fact that they were going to South Beach, where it is humid, it is hot, and I get it. You mean you're in a climate that is cold and it's you're climatizing, you're getting used to it, and then all of a sudden you go to it's heat. It's the NFL, right? You're going to travel. You're going to go to the West Coast, and then you're going to go here, and you're going to do that. So, like, I'm not. Somebody said, "Yo, don't do that, Rico." Listen, I'm not. I'm just saying that plays a factor for everyone. No different than when Miami comes to Buffalo. They don't do well. It does matter. Don't forget, the last time I remember the Bills losing to the Miami Dolphins was that freaking over 100-degree game where it was like hot, and McKenzie drops that ball in the end zone, and that was the ball game. So let's not, diminish that weather does matter or the climate does matter, but not in this case. We are playing a 2-7 team. There's no excuse for us to come out and look the way we did. If I told you one of these teams today is 2-7 and the other, is a above 500 team at 6-2, you would have never thought that the Bills were the 6-2 team. And it was bad. So, but you need losses like this, unfortunately, to really give you that wake-up call. And quite frankly, the Atlanta game certainly didn't do it because they didn't have the bye yet, right? The Patriots game certainly didn't do it because that was the first loss. So you're like, okay, first one, it's all good. We're not going to, go undefeated. So it's cool. That was a team that we thought we were going to split it with them anyway. So no big deal. But now you're going up on 3 losses and you lost to the 2-7 Dolphins. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. But what's more unacceptable is the same old mess being trotted out onto the field. The same old product. Lack of passing the ball downfield. No cohesion between quarterback and receivers. And I'll even say as much as far as quarterback and OC. OC is not seeing the field. He's in the booth and he's not seeing what the defense is doing. They came out in 4-3 base. You don't think that our big personnel 30% could not go up against that and just whoop tail? That's number one. Continuing to do the screen receiver plays to Khalil Shakir. It's getting tiresome. And I know that you were trying to reestablish the run, Joe Brady. But at that time, we needed to get a rhythm in the pass game. And we couldn't. I get it. You want to sprinkle in some run, and you need to. But I think you stuck to the run too long until it was too late. And then now we just couldn't do anything. Couldn't run the football, couldn't pass the football. I mean, we couldn't put a point on the board until the fourth quarter. Pathetic. Now, obviously, the turnovers played a huge factor because every drive that we were actually gaining positive yardage, we turned the ball over. It's not good. It's not good what I'm seeing. The product that we are seeing isn't good. That's number one. Number two, Josh Allen. I gotta get on Josh because what we're seeing from Josh is uncharacteristic. It's just not him. He's not running the football with confidence. He's holding on to the football a little too long. He sees receivers open, but doesn't like it. Some people are calling it big game hunting, where he's looking for the big play. He's got the easy throws in front of him, and he's not taking them. And if he's holding onto the ball too long, he's missing his window of opportunity to strike. And when he holds onto the ball way longer than that, he's now scrambling, and he's got everybody now discombobulated and running all over the place. And he's directing and being an orchestrator, and he's trying to figure some things out. It's not healthy to continue to play ball like that. So I question, is there a disconnect between what plays are being called and what the game plan is going into the week? Are you and Brady not? I mean, you handpicked him. You picked him. That's your guy. Figure it out. That's number two. I'll get back on Josh a little afterwards. Number three, Keon Coleman. Bro, and most folks are like, bro, give up on that guy, man. That guy's a bum. I can't. I look at this as year two, and you all hear about the sophomore slump. Maybe this is the sophomore slump. Maybe, because his rookie year was starting to kind of ascend. He had those 2 games where none of the things that we're seeing today are happening were happening last year. That matters. I don't want to hear people tell me it doesn't matter, because if we saw those things last year constantly and consistently, then I can say, yeah, that's what he was doing last year. So this is apropos. But it wasn't. We were looking forward to seeing what him and Josh and Keon were able to do. And we're not seeing that. We're seeing a young receiver that is showing lack of effort, late for meetings, call it what you will, sloppy route running, and then gives you a great route and a great play, and then it disappears again. There's inconsistency with Keon Coleman. The lack of effort is what kills me the most. Josh is looking for someone to give him max effort, and if he's looking your way, you got to come up for him. And we're not getting that out of our second rounder, to the point where we had to go and try to trade for a big-time receiver, and even that we couldn't do. So we're all we got at this point. 4th and 17. And you out there jogging? It was a 3rd and 11 or something like that? You out there jogging? I saw him on the side. I said, what? That's here, and that's another thing. Okay. Then I'm looking at Josh. Is there something up with Josh? Is there something really going on with him? For real. And I ask this wholeheartedly. Is there something going on with his brother, man? Because these games don't normally last this long. These stretches. They don't normally last this long. And when we get good wins, we're used to seeing a lot more jovial Josh Allen. But even in the wins, he's more like, I'm cool. What's going on? What's going on with them? And this is where there's a fine line between being a fanatic and being a human. And I'm going to try to tell you what I mean by that. Being a fanatic, you get critical. You mean you're rah-rah, you're in the moment, and there's all that. But we tend to, and I'll speak for myself, we tend to forget, and sometimes I do, that's not who they are. The player on that field is not who they are. You know what I'm saying? So like when I see them poo-pooing on the field and we getting on their behind and we this, that, and the third, that's the fanatic. But we have to remember that these guys are human as well. These are men with families. They're men that got relationships. These are sons. These are nephews. So you have to respect that part because they could be going through some things that they're just trying to work through it. And you've got the pressures of the NFL and the pressures of that. I don't care who you are. Those things can get to you. Look at the young player, the Dallas Cowboys, at Marshawn Kneeland, 24 years of age. I mean, the story is a little shaky for me, but the end result was this brother took his life because you don't know what people are going through. And the pressures of the game can get to them. So, like, we have to have a level of grace for guys like Josh Allen and whomever, but I'm more specifically talking with guys like Josh Allen because he might be going through something. But because he's the leader of this team, he's got to put on the brave face. But sometimes you think you're putting on the brave face, but people see right through it. So there's a level of grace that we have to have with these players, man. We have to remember, and I have to remind myself that this is just a game. It's just a game. It's just a child's game that, grown men are playing. And sometimes we have to be reminded that this internet and all this other stuff that's going down, there's some nasty people out there. And if you let that consume you, we've seen young kids, take their lives forward and so on and so forth, or people make bad decisions and who knows. But let me tie this all up in a bow here. Whatever it is that Josh may be going through or may not be, I hope he gets through it and that we can get the old Josh back. But if it's just strictly football and he's just not playing well and there's something that's happening, well, then changes have to be made. If it's the OC that just they're not aligned anymore, Brian Daboll just got released from his duties. Sometimes you gotta bring in a fresh set of eyes and voice into the locker room. Sean McDermott was like, bro, not happening. So the other side of it is, other than the mental part of it, of whatever he may be going through, the football side, where I can be back to being a fanatic is, bro, you're not playing good enough. You're not. You have a receiving core that are deemed not the best. You should be taking this and saying, let me prove you wrong. The same way you did it last year when you won the MVP. You don't have Diggs. So you had extra motivation to say, let me prove you wrong. Let's roll. And you got yourself an MVP. What, are the pressures are getting are too much for you to duplicate? Yes. Welcome to the NFL. Tom Brady did it multiple times. You feel me? Pat Mahomes multiple times. This is the game. If you get the MVP, you got to do it again because people are expecting it. Lamar Jackson did it again. He almost did it 3 times. But you decided to come in and say, you know what? Let me get some of that. Some might say that I'm making excuses for this brother. No, because there is a hard line to hold people accountable, but you also have to remember the other side. As the fanatic, bro, he's got to be better. You're paid $330 million, bro. You got to be better. That's number one. If the freaking player is right there, you have to hold on to the ball a little longer just so he can clear. Hit that. That brother's getting gun shy. What you getting gun shy for? We brought you in to not be gun shy. Hit that. This brother getting shy. Oh, I can't throw that. Let me hold on. Let me run around. You're making life harder for yourself based on what I'm seeing on the field. Josh is making things a lot harder for himself, but he's got to get help from his receivers. Make them accountable. So what are we doing? What is Josh doing to make these guys accountable? I know my man Carl Jones was like, bro, these guys are in the NFL, man. If you need somebody else to motivate you to get going, I mean, you're in the wrong profession. I'm paraphrasing here. But sometimes you need someone to pull you by the bootstraps or pull you by the collar and say, I need you. I need you. Now, it doesn't have to be done on camera, but I need to see some kind of effort to show that these guys are there. We're paying Khalil Shakir 30 plus mil, 40 plus mil for what? To catch screen? You might as well just give it to Curtis Samuel. What else is this guy doing? If he's not doing something for himself, meaning breaking tackles and taking it 80, bro, you've relegated this guy to just a 5-yard hitch receiver. I'm sure he's got a bigger arsenal than that. Figure it out. Figure it out, man. The amount of times I saw Josh had a one-on-one with Keon Coleman. He decides to go after Dawson Knox and throws an interception. Miscommunication right there. That should never be happening. You guys have been playing together too long. Keon Coleman one-on-one, you got to take that. Nope. The lack of trust not being there, the money being paid to some of these players on the squad, they're not earning their keep. Bernard's not earning his keep. Khalil Shakir's not earning his keep. Absolutely not. Those two players are not earning their keep. But I can only do what I can do, and he gives me the screenplays. Bro, and this is what I said a couple weeks ago when I said sometimes you need a diva. Knock on the freaking OC's desk and say, hey, man, I'm watching this, and I'm looking at film. All I'm relegated is to this. Why can't we work something else? Can we try to find me? I hope that that's what they'd be doing, especially if you have a little money in your pocket. You can come out and be vocal and say something. But Brady, you're calling the plays. You're orchestrating this whole thing. I'm done with Brady. I got no love for Brady whatsoever. I got none for that, brother. I mean, when he leaves, good riddance. I just hope that we bring somebody that is not on the current roster, that has experience in this game, and that can work with Josh Allen. I don't want to retread. Oh, Ronald Curry's, he's been with Josh. I don't care. Not trying to hear it. Go get someone that knows what the heck he's doing and get the most out of Josh. Because right now, we're not getting the most out of Josh. We're getting this fragile, timid Josh. I don't know where that brother came from, but send that brother packing. I want the guy that knows exactly what he needs to talk, what he needs to do. And right now, we're not seeing it. I just saw a comment from my man Duchar. He says, You're talking like you're better than everyone. Me? I am? I didn't think I was. Unless you're talking about in the chat. Back to what I'm trying to say, though. This thing that's happening right now with offensive coordinator, quarterback, and all this stuff, it's for the birds. It is absolutely for the birds. It's not working. And I said this a few years ago, where there was a point where I know that Tom Brady had Gronkowski for a while. So, and he had Randy Moss for a while. I get that part. But like, there weren't anybody like world beaters. He didn't have a whole lot of world beaters. Edelman was nice. I'm not going to take away anything about Edelman, but he wasn't elite. You know what I mean? Amendola was nice. Well, they weren't elite. He had Brown, not elite. So, and he was able to do what he needs to do, but he also had a great offensive coordinator, and Tom Brady is Tom Brady. So we need to get someone that can transform this offense and the players that we got and get the best out of them. Because at the end of the day, Josh isn't getting the best out of his receivers, and Joe Brady's not getting the best out of Josh. You see how that works? Trickles down. You're not getting the best out of your quarterback. Quarterback's not getting the best out of the OC. So how do you expect the receivers to do what the heck they're doing? I'm surprised that James Cook he's having the success he's having. Because there's a whole lot of dysfunction right now going on in this offense. The only thing working is this O-line and James Cook. Everything else is just busted. And we got 8 games to go. Figure it out. Fire McDermott. I'm not on that train. I don't think it's going to happen personally. If he doesn't win the whole thing this year, then you gotta have a discussion. But OC has to go. And I need McDermott calling plays the rest of the way. The rest of the way. Do not do this whole sharing business. Call the plays the rest of the way. Andy Reid ain't giving up the play calling. Why are you? I just want to be nah, bro. You got to take over and do it. You want something done right, you do it yourself. Isn't that how it's supposed to be done? We ain't getting that. We are certainly not getting that. Last for me before I get out of here. I didn't hear Matt Milano's name once in that game. I didn't really hear Terrell Bernard either. Our 2 linebackers, not a peep. Ladies and gentlemen, those 2 are on my milk carton. Where the F are y'all? Where were Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard? Mr. Bernard. I can't even call you. I call you Mr. Bernard when you're balling. Terrell Bernard, brother. Matt Milano, we know Matt Milano's out. He's on his way out. We get that part. But I didn't see anything from those 2 at all. Just brutal. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And those guys, we just paid Terrell Bernard. Matt Milano, at least we're like, yo, we're going to end you by the end of the year. So at least we know. But like, yo, go out with a bang, my G. Now I'm sitting here, cannot wait for Shaq Thompson to come back. And he's dealing with a hamstring injury. So maybe we get him back next week and maybe we don't. And not to mention a hamstring injury with Kincaid. He's out at least 2 weeks, at least. So what's this offense going to do now? So milk carton candidate, I could have gone to the offensive side of the ball, but I'm sticking to the defense because the defense is not going to get scapegoat. It's not going to get out of this one. Offense did not do their job, but defense, allowing Devin Achane to go for the amount of yardage he went for. He's a good back. Don't get me wrong. But we got to be better than that. That was absolute buns. Absolute buns. Unacceptable. Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano. Those guys, those are my 2 candidates for the milk carton. Missing in action. Where the F are y'all? The time that we need a little bit of reprieve, we need a little stop. Nada. Where were they on the score? I'd love to know where these guys are. Jordan Poyer led the way. Then it was Cole Bishop. Then it was Cam Lewis. And then it was Terrell Bernard with 5 tackles. He was our third leading tackler on the team. After him, it was Joey Bosa, Tre'Davious White, and then Matt Milano. Are you kidding me? Tre'Davious White, more tackles than Matt Milano. Unbelievable. And by the way, Matt Milano, 1 solo tackle. Tre'Davious White, 2 solo tackles. Absolutely on my candidates for missing in action. Milk carton candidate, Matt Milano, and Terrell Bernard. Pathetic. All that money, bruh. We need more. We absolutely need more. All right, folks, let's get into some sleeper picks before we head on out. You know what I'm saying? Let me get y'all prepared and let me share my screen. And by the way, if you guys haven't hit that like button, I promise you I'm gonna hit the comment section in just a little bit because I see some great things being discussed. And we gotta go back in there. So let me share my screen and let's talk about this Thursday night game coming up. The New York Football Jets. Are you excited about that? Oh boy, that's gonna be something else. All right. So what did your boy Rico pick this week? Let me share my screen real quick so you guys see what's happening. All right. Let me adjust this just a little bit, just so you guys can see what's shaking here. Every time I do that, that always messes up on me. All right, let's see here. Oh. All right, can you guys see the screen? No problem. Yep. All right, here we go. So I got Justin Fields with anytime I got a pass touchdown. I mean, surely you're gonna be putting up the some points on the board. So Justin Fields with a touchdown. I would love it if the Jets upset. Wouldn't that be great if the Jets came out and upset the Patriots? That would be fantastic. The Bills were right back in it, but we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. Justin Fields, anytime touchdown. Got to. A pass touchdown. You got to do that. You're going to have to, right? Stephon Diggs. Here we go. 41 yards. Absolutely. He's their best receiver on the squad. There's no way he can't. And by the way, Stephon Diggs is having a phenomenal year with Drake May and them boys. Having a phenomenal year. You got to keep it up. And lastly, we got Travion Henderson? Travion Henderson with an anytime touchdown. That one's a tricky one. But if he gets permission from coach to score, then maybe we'll see him do it. So give me the over on Travion Henderson. Give me Stephon Diggs with over 41.5 yards. I think that's a gimme. And Justin Fields, I mean, he should. And I'm looking at him getting a pass touchdowns, but I chose the less. I do have to give respect to the pass defense of the damn Patriots. Can't believe I'm doing that, but they are good. They are good. And Garrett Wilson is not playing. He might be if he's going to get something, he's going to be a tight end, or he's going to have to pass himself, or maybe Breece Hall. Breece Hall takes a screen. It's going to be tough. I struggled with this one because of but I think it's going to be under. I may have to. I'd love to switch it up. There's no way Justin Fields is going to allow this to happen. I did choose under, so I'm going to stick with it. So give me the under on passing touchdowns. Give me over on yards for reception for Stephon Diggs, and give me Tre'Davious Henderson with an anytime touchdown, anytime TD. I think that we can certainly see that take place. I mean, why not? I think that'd be. I think it's apropos. Do we not? Y'all, let me know what you thought. Beat it up in the comment. Let me know. Let me go back to full screen for y'all and get right back to it. So your thoughts on I'm going to read the comment section, but your thoughts so far on this show. If you guys are appreciating it, do me a favor and smash that like for your boy, and let's get it all cracking. And let me stop sharing my screen real quick, and away we go. So let me open up this screen here and back out, because every time it does that, it makes me, there we go. We're back at it. We're back to it. All right, let me hit the comment section real quick, and let me see what people are saying, right? We got some super chats first. Let me get to my man, Mr. And Nickel Plain says, yo, great show. Listen, man, Nickel Plain, appreciate you, my G. Love it, and I love I love the fact that you showing some love, man. My man, Paul Costa says, yo, Rico, will you play my favorite song, Stomp by the Brother Johnsons? Bill's season ended with that loss to Miami. Oh, I don't know, Paul. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, yo, YouTube loves to take my money when I do copyright. So I'm trying to chill on the copyright. But one of these days, I'll do that for you, bro. I'll do that for you. But I mean, season over? Oh, I don't know about yet. Maybe my fantasy season might be over, but I don't know if we there yet. All right, let me get to some of the comments coming, because I know I saw a lot of conversation going. So let me start off with my man Brandon. Brandon Gomez says, yo, Andre Reed mentioned, hold on, let me read that right. Andre Reed mentioned on his Instagram page to give Keon time, as it took him 3 years to develop when he played. I think Keon has talent but needs to mature. I think that is accurate. And that's why I was saying, I know people will say, yo, give up on that guy. I'm not ready to give up on that guy. I think that he's got talent. I think he's got raw talent, and he just needs to be refined. And sometimes it takes a little time. And this is a sophomore year. It's the second year. I mean, I know Keon was getting blasted by Steve Smith, but Steve Smith, he's a third rounder. And I mean, he wasn't saying a whole lot in his first 2 years either. And then he exploded in his third year. And then he was, who he is today. So like, give that brother some time, man. Give some time to Keon. I think that he does absolutely need to mature, because this lazy route running that he's doing and looking disinterested and all of that stuff, cut it out. Grow up. You know what I'm saying? Grow up, because your team needs you. They put a second round pick on you. They need you. So if you need to get with Josh and go to his house and say, yo, man, what's up? What's going on? Get to it. All right. My man, Brian Bauer says, yo, Josh might be on Haley Steinfeld and not football. Yo, who knows, man? Honestly, who knows? I never comment on that when it comes to like, yo, what these guys are doing. Now, I will say this. anytime that we were all in relationships, and some of you guys in here may have never been broken up with, or you did all the breaking up with, right? I've been broken up with, got my heart broken. And when you're trying to focus on certain things, your mind is not there. So you're not where you truly want to be fully. But when your mind is clear and you're ready to go, and you're la-di-da and things are great, you're on top of the world. You're great. So sometimes those relationships can affect you on the field. I mean, I know has with me, but it also makes you lock in. You hit the gym a little more. You got a little too comfortable when you're with your girl or you're with your dude. So you hit the gym and then you come out looking like, a brand new person. Now you're ready to get back out there. So I'm not speculating anything whatsoever. I'm just saying sometimes when you're going through things, and maybe the brother might be going through something with his girl or might not be, or he's just so zoned in on and locked in on football and the errors that are happening around, he's just trying to recalibrate. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I hope we see a better mind frame and a better product on the field by this offense. All right, let's go to my guy Walter. What up, Walter? Welcome back, Walter. I'm glad that you got rid of that invader name. I was like, not for me. I don't like Walter in that name. My man Walter, and this is a comment that came earlier, so forgive me because we're past that. But we played the worst pass defense in the league, missing their best cornerback, and we needed to take the underneath pass all game to win. Allen isn't blameless, but come on, the issues are obvious. Yes, the issue is with receivers for sure, but it's compounded, man. It's OC not doing what he needs to do for his quarterback, and his quarterback not doing what he needs to do for the receivers, and the receivers not needing to do what they need for the quarterback. Right? It's the triangle. It's a triangle offense. And when the triangle offense is working, it's crap. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing crap product on the field. Sucks. It really sucks. What up to my man Warframe Gaming? It says, think about it. If you're one of the top players and you get no help, what are you supposed to do? Even Brady had good wide receivers and had an elite defense. Keyword elite defense. Well, that helps. When you have a defense that can get to it, that absolutely does help. But we do not have either. We don't have an elite defense, and our offense right now is struggle mode. So something's got to give. We got to figure it out. Shout out to my guy Scott Blakely. I haven't seen Scotty in a long time. What up, Scotty from the Chi-Town? What up, baby? Dable wouldn't come back unless McDermott was gone. Be real. And that's facts. That's why I think that McDermott was like, I'm not even entertaining that. Now, McDermott is not the one that calls shots. At the end of the day, Pagula is the one that calls shots. And if Pagula was like, he's coming back and you guys got to make it work, then that's what would happen. But I'm sure Pagula's like, bro, do you guys want this guy back? No. Okay, then he's not coming back. And even Dable might say, I ain't coming back. I'm good. I'm just going to take this moment to kind of regroup. And maybe he's playing the long run. Maybe he feels like that Bills opening might open up again and he might get that coaching job over there. Who knows? Or he might take a long sabbatical and never come back. Who knows? What else we got? Let me keep it rolling here. My man Charlie says, yo, top 3 quarterback in the league, and 8 years in, he never gets the help and elite playmaker he deserves. Mediocre quarterback got better playmakers than Josh did. Just sit on that for a minute. Elite QB with no help. That's on Bean. That's squarely on Bean. And there's nowhere else to look. There's nowhere else to look. You can't. We've been in this deficit of being broke for so long. Like, it feels like this is just the norm. We're just gonna keep bargain binning. When are we gonna have some money to do and make some things happen? But you went out and paid Bernard. You went out and paid, you know what I'm saying, the likes of what am I missing? Benford. You went out and paid Rousseau. You went out and paid Khalil Shakir, and go ask me who's earning their money right now. Not a whole lot of these guys are earning their keep right now. I'll tell you that right now. So big comment to my man Charlie. Let me scroll on down. My man Brian Barrow says, yo, Brady is the damn problem, and it's obvious. He will get fired at the end of the season. And if this continues, he absolutely will, and he should not come back. My man Walter goes, the Brady-Mahomes comp is so weak that people use. Brady's receivers were averaging at least 8 yards of depth and getting yards, not 4 like Shakir. Brady wasn't throwing receiver screens on 3rd and 10, but he also had a phenomenal offensive coordinator. that, you know what I mean, knew what Brady liked, knew what he could run, and away we go. And let's not play like Brady didn't throw a lot of screens, because he did, right? But point taken. But they also had, you have the legendary McDaniel, that's a great offensive coordinator, not a great coach. And you see what's happening right now. You got Vrabel and McDaniels together, and they're doing big things. Big things. Together says, yo, Josh is a product of the fan base. Tua dink and dunk all day, but he moves the ball. And his team finished this off. I mean, yo, Tua starts off by giving the football to us, throws a pick. But he was also told, I don't care what we do, we're 2-7 pretty much. I'm paraphrasing here, by the way. But his coach was like, 3rd and 10, take a shot. And we'll and I hate this term, but we'll use it as an arm punt. Take that shot. And if we get it, boom. If we don't, we're punting anyway. So take that shot. And guess what? It worked. It worked. He had 2 big plays, and you saw what happened. Those were the results. Those were the absolute results. Let's see. I'm going to take a couple more comments, and then I'm going to call it a day. Walter, if Tom Brady was asked to throw to Edelman, Welker, etc., receiver screens at the line of scrimmage at his top receivers, he's not winning anything. Well, he did do that a lot, and they still won. And I mean, obviously, the bag was a little deeper, but they still won. They still did what they need to do. All right. All right. Some people think I'm talking facts. Okay. All right. I'm scrolling back, so you see what I'm talking about here. What do we got? A venture. This is the question of the organization why we don't sign the DC and OC that will take us over the mountain. Like what the Buffalo Sabres fans say to stay. That's what Buffalo Sabres fans say to stay in mediocrity. The product is on the field. You see it. Z Money says the offense tries to have a long, sustained drives with more time of possession. They need to just focus on putting the points up on the board on every drive. Enough of these wasted first downs. Bro, that was irritating the heck out of me. I was like, why are we running this crap, man? Let's go, man. Couldn't do anything. Brian Bowers, Matt Milano did not have a good game. Shake my head. The injuries are finally catching up to him. And that's why they avoided his last year. They say, yo, this is your last year, bro. This is your last year. When he has the good games, he's on it. But I didn't hear them say his name once. I'm dead ass. I did not hear them say his name once. It's crazy. Let me see. 99 says, yo, I think the Dolphins' loss was a reckoning that the Bills are no longer the kings of the AFC East. Now begins the struggle to get the wild card spot. Yes. Now it is the struggle. We have to bust our tail to get that. And it ain't going to be easy. Walter comes in and says, yo, Carl Jones said Milano Bernard presence wasn't felt, and I disagree. Really? It was definitely felt in the run game because that's what they do. Yo, you're a fool. Walter's an idiot. Walter's pretty much saying, oh, we felt their presence. It wasn't there, and that's why we got gashed for 150 freaking yards. Well done, Walter. Well played. Well freaking played. Charlie comes in and says, if Josh don't like certain plays, then audible. Shit, Peyton Manning done it. Take charge if you don't like and change it. You're the franchise, own it. That's a great idea too. And we've seen Allen, you know what I mean, Omaha, manja, kill, or whatever what they do. He's done it. But to change a whole play and do this, I don't know if I've seen him do it often, of orchestrating a whole brand new, bro, we're not doing this. I think we're maybe it's just a kill, like go from here to here, right? Or opposite side. But like to change up a play, maybe he's done it. But like Carl said, he's not as vocal as some of the other guys. My man said, rude awakening. We aren't who we think we are. Dolphins should have won that last game. Our reign is done. You guys still in La La Land. Together 336 is absolutely a Dolphins fan. He tripping. Listen, sometimes you got to go through a stretch. And we've done it before, and we'll do it again. But this year does feel a little different. It does feel a little different. So I can't say I fully agree with you on that one. Jets could beat the Pats Thursday and change everything. Otherwise, Pats are winning the division. Bro, I'm telling you right now, if the Pats come in, and I highly doubt it, it's not going to happen. But if the Pats could come in and lose to the Jets, bro, wide back open again. Let's go, Bills. Let's go, Bills. We could probably get something cracking, but something tells me, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. Hair Peanut. I think it's Hair Peanut. Anyway, No, the Dolphins loss wasn't a wake-up call for me, but it definitely made me believe this team is not a Super Bowl team, and I don't think we can come over all of these. Can get over all these injuries. There's way too many. Another thing that some people don't want to talk about, I don't talk about it enough because I'm always about the next man up. I truly am, but there's something to be said about the amount of injuries that we have. Key injuries. I mean, these are not just guys that are like, oh, we'll get them. Bro, we lost some key guys. Dion Walker. I was gonna say Ed Oliver. Buddy, that's crazy. That's a killer, man. That one hurt. That one hurt a lot, right? So you got that you got to deal with. Then you look at you got Palmer, that's out. Then you got Taylor Rapp. Not that Taylor Rapp was playing any better, but he's out. Bernard out. Taron Johnson out. Like these are big time players that are not playing right now. That hurts. Epinesa, call it what you want, depth player or not, but this guy gets after it. He was out, and you saw the difference, man. Michael Hoyt out. And Michael Hoyt was giving us the juice, man. Sometimes you can't get over this. So there's certain things you just can't get over. And that was one of them. What do we got? My man Get Right says, I was pissed about the loss, but thought it's in the division. It's only the third of the year. A lot of football left to play, and go Bills. And that's where I'm starting to kind of like, it is a third loss of the season. We could probably lose another 2-3 more games. 3 more games is a little much. We can only afford to lose 2 more. So this is going to be a very telling rest of the way. Telling rest of the way. All right, what do we got here? I'm going to take a couple more, and then I'm going to get out of here. Let's see. My man Charlie says, "Go all in. If we really want a Super Bowl, we need to let go of the dead weight and get dogs on this team. Gotta make hard decisions, but we got to do something. Just wasting Josh's years. It does feel like that, man. Josh is 29, man. Josh is 29. He's going to be 30 next year. And then now, here we are. We're going to be like, holy crap, Josh has only got amount of years left. I hope we don't. I hope we I hate that. Rico, we got to stop the Brady jealousy. Tell him that Brady wins no matter who's. Listen, Brady is one of one, number one. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that. You right, man. We got to get that out the way. He is one of one. But we bring up Brady because Brady was in our division and we know Brady so damn well. But that brother is different. He will yell at his offensive coordinator. He will throw a tablet and he will cuss your ass out. And he's not afraid to get after some of the guys that are on the squad. Now, keep in mind, was Brady like that at the beginning of his career? Not so much. But once you got some skin in the game, you have the ability to do that. You're OG in the game. You can start yelling at the young pups. Josh has got some skin in the game now. He's got an MVP. He's got Pro Bowls. He's got all pros. He's got all that. He's missing the Super Bowl. But you got enough skin in the game that you may have to change. Sometimes you may not be the leader that you think you can't be. Am I saying that right? You may not believe you're the leader that this team needs, but sometimes you got to do some things out of character to get them back on track. But it's a fine line. It's a fine line. I'll give you a story before I get out of here. And by the way, 99, I appreciate the love that you're showing. By the way, last comment. Are we really afraid of Drake May in the past that we all jump ship when faced adversity? I know the 90s team faced challenges. Nobody's scared of the Pats, but they're a good team. You got to give credit to the Pats, man. They're playing good ball right now. I'll tell you this: when it comes to leadership and how you deal with people, you got to know who your teammates are. That's number one. You have to know who your teammates are and how they respond to you. Doing your thing. This is why it starts with rallying everybody. And I don't see this from Josh. I don't see this from them at all. Call everybody in. And they're going to be like, yo, Josh never calls us in. Why is he calling us in? Now you got everybody's attention. All right, guys, we got to lock in. Let's get going because we're not doing this. Keon, I need some of this. Dion, that dude coming in. I need this. I looked at the tablet and the tablet said, bro, like maybe he's doing that. I just don't see it. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough. I've been to games. I can't say it's not like I've never been to games before. I've been to games and I don't see it. And I've been to games when Josh Allen's been the guy. I don't see it when I've been to the games. And I certainly don't see it on there. So that's just the way I look at it. Now, last story before I get out here in terms of leadership. I used to sell cars before I'm in my career that I'm doing now. And there was a month that it was super slow. And we were just kind of like la-di-dying. And the sales manager was like, bro, like we're not reaching our quota. Because if you ever buy cars, by the way, here's a tip for you guys buying cars. If you're ever going to buy cars, brand new, especially if it's a brand new car, try to buy your cars in the first 10 days or the last 10 days. The middle of the month, you're not going to get as good as deals. The first 10 days, they got to reach a quota. They got to send 10 brand new cars at the beginning of the first 10 days. So if you want to try to get in there, they're going to do everything they can aggressively to get the month rolling because there's quotas. And at the end of the month, that's when they're trying to, get the tail end. So now they're willing to give a little bit more. Little tip for you guys. Anyway, so the sales manager, he watched the movie Wolf of Wall Street the night before and then calls a board meeting and he starts ripping into us and calling us individually and calling us out. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's like. But the way he was doing it, it might work for that guy, but it won't work for me. So you can't just paint it with a brush. And that's why leadership is a fine line. You gotta know how to do it, right? So then he tried to pull some stuff with me. I was like, yo, time out, man. What is this? This is not the way I don't talk to me that way. That's not the way you're gonna talk to me. You're gonna talk to me, you can talk to me like a man, but you're gonna talk to me like you talking to that rookie that just got here 2 months ago. You better chill out. And he had to apologize. Yo, my bad. I just watched Wolf of Wall Street, and it had me motivated, and I felt like this is what I need to get my team motivated. This guy took the motivation from a damn movie, and he thought he could try to do it, and try to do something. But the point I'm trying to say is sometimes people have to do something different to try to get something out of them. But it ended up doing something because we're like, once we understood where he was coming from, we're locked in. So Josh has got to find a way to figure out a way to get to his boys, because right now 6-3, and it is not looking good. We've lost 3 of the last 5. We were hot. We started the year hot. 3 of the last 5, bruh, we got to be better. Anyways, folks, that's my time. If you guys appreciated the show, do me a favor, smash that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't hit that subscribe, and hopefully we can get this thing rolling, man. This Bills team, we need this week coming up. It's a big week. The Bucs losing to the Patriots is a tough one, and they're coming home to Buffalo. So we gotta figure things out because they're trying to avenge that loss. They're not trying to go two in a row. Josh, we watching. We absolutely are watching. By the way, my man Charlie says, yo, much love and respect to you, Rico. Keep doing your thizzle. Love the show and the real dogs. Hey, man, the real dogs in the chat. That's what keeps this thing rolling. So you guys have yourself a fantastic rest of the evening, and we will catch you guys on the flip. Y'all have a great one, and until next time, it's your boy, it's the Buffalo Fanatics, it's the Rico Report, and we'll catch you guys on the flip. P.S. I am away for the rest of the week. I'm out of town, so you won't see me until Friday, and I might be solo because this is the week. We don't know when it's gonna happen, so it might be me solo for the rest of the week, if not more. So we'll see how that all shakes out. So I'll try to bring in some guests and we can try to get this thing cracking. So until next time, we'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.